Good afternoon. This is in the North Bank. This is the afterthought. Good afternoon, Gooners. I say this is Paul from in the North Bank, and this is the afterthought. Going through the very disappointing second leg against Liverpool, which knocked us out of the Carabao Cup at the Emirates. Yeah, it was a disappointment at the end. I think we went out with a damp squib. Not a huge amount really we could do about it. Well, we say that, but I think with regards to the quality of our play and the fitness of the key players in and around that team, and we look at the first leg and we know what a struggle it was to the team to actually finish that game, and the way they finished it, they were all dead on their feet. They were all knackered. There were no other players to come in and really help. It led on to that postponement against Tottenham, which, again, you look at it on Thursday, this was a real eye opener to say, well, yeah, they're not ready even 4 days later. And you have to understand that players are coming back from injury and COVID. They've maybe not trained for a few days. They've not been integrated with the team, and they probably are still a little bit low and short of that game time and match fitness, because that plays a massive key. And when we see, say, that a lineup that we put in for the second leg, and it filled you with real enthusiasm. I'm not going to lie, I looked at it and I thought, oh well, that's really good, and I thought, yeah, there is a chance, and there always is a chance. There's always a chance in a one-off game, because that's what it was. It was 0-0 after the first leg, and yeah, we gave ourselves a chance in that game, but as it transpired, we just didn't have enough in the tank to trouble Liverpool for long periods. It was all right where we'd kind of get the odd kind of flurry where we'd have a little attack and maybe get the ball up in those advanced areas, but the long and the short of it, it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough to actually really worry them. And yeah, you look at the lineup and Tomiyasu coming back in. You got Odegaard coming back in. Saka again. He was dead on his feet against Liverpool in the first leg. You had Smith Rowe coming back in again from injury, and Lacazette seemed a little off today. Just a bit short on pace and just being real quick to the ball. And yeah, it showed. It did show in our play, and we seemed really good in that first 10-15 minutes. And we got the free kick that Lacazette hit, and then the keeper saved it. Good fingertip onto the bar. But yeah, apart from a couple of little flurries from Martinelli, we kind of gave them a lot of respect, and whether or not it was because we'd played the 15 minutes and I don't know, blew ourselves out, I don't know. You look at that intensity that early on. If a team that's obviously come in, and we've got a few players that are very low on match fitness, and they are just coming back in, and they're there, they're not going to have that ability to kind of carry that level on. So it the fact that we just kind of blew ourselves out a little bit and sat back and let them have the ball, And we know Liverpool. We know how they play. They look to get the ball forward quickly. And yeah, we've got a proper workman-like midfield controlled by Fabinho. And yeah, Henderson, an old head. Again, just knows what to do and keep it ticking. And then when you've got Robertson and you've got Trent Arnold at the back for them, with Van Dijk as well, they are a formidable team. And Jota is a beast. He is a great little player. And yeah, the goal was the killer, the first goal. And we can say all that endeavour in that first 15 minutes. But 6 minutes after that, we then go to, well, not so much go to sleep, but we allow Jota on the ball. We tried to close down, but then Tommy's a little bit the wrong side of Jota, and he just kind of just drops his shoulder and goes inside, and Tommy just loses his footing. Wasn't for the first time though, as well. In that first half, or even going into the second half, there were a few slips, and you're suddenly thinking, have they got the right studs on or something? Why is everyone slipping over? And you're just thinking, we need to sort that out, because there's some crucial slips at some crucial times, and if they're slipping over, need to review it. Certainly at half time, but yeah, he weren't match fit, and even Arteta at the end of the game come out and said that he thought it was really good what he'd done to come into the team. And it obviously isn't easy, certainly to not train and then come straight into a game against a team like Liverpool. And yeah, apart from that, it was all right. But again, it was a shaky game, because there didn't seem a huge amount of confidence. You had Odegaard playing, and he was dropping a little bit deeper to pick up the ball and allowing Smith Rowe to be a little bit further forward, with Sambi kind of still motoring on, trying to break up play and do stuff. But yeah, there were too many times where we were very open, and at times it worked, because we managed to get past the press and create some spaces and some opportunities. But 7 shots and then 2 on target at home in a semi-final isn't good enough. But again, it just shows that, yeah, we can have these players back, but if they aren't at that level, then they're gonna get punished. And when you've got a group of players like Liverpool, and they're cutthroat. They see a chance, they'll take it, and that's the reason why they're where they are. They're in the Champions League. They're in the race for the Championship, and you're suddenly thinking, this is where we want to be, but we know we're nowhere near that just yet. And we say we're still 4 or 5 players away from really challenging. But you could say we're probably about 8 or 9 players away, because we've released some players this year that we've been trying to release for a long time. And I'm talking maybe, say, 2 years into Emery's term, where we were kind of looking to release. There was no buyers, so we were sending them on loan. Kolasinac being one. So we're freeing up valuable resources for the squad. And this takes time. Liverpool have got a squad of 17, 18, 19 really good players that could come in and do a job. Klopp has had another 4 or 5 years on top of what we are. So we're looking at it like that, where they are miles ahead of our project and the way of understanding how we're going to play and getting that ethos through to all those players who are playing for Arsenal. It isn't going to be a quick fix, and again, the overreaction again. We lose a game, everyone goes into meltdown, and yeah, we sack Mikel Arteta. What happens then? Who do we get in? And then what happens to that squad? What ideas is this guy going to suddenly bring in and then want to change? So we then suddenly think, well, we're going to have to now take another step backwards because there's going to be another kind of mind coming in. And you're suddenly thinking, this can't continue like that, because you're not going to get progression. Because if every single time when we have a bad run or we lose a couple of games, we're crying to change a manager. Look at Tottenham. Through those Wenger years, they had about 22 different managers. Look where that got them. Yeah? You've seen them through their time where they look like they've taken a couple of steps forward, and they think, when you're suddenly thinking, might be in a bit of trouble. But then, a couple of bad results or a bad run, and they then get rid of a manager. Then they go 3 steps backwards. And yeah, you look at it, and it's happened numerous times for them. And are they better off for it? Of course not. The amount of money that they've wasted on paying people or managers severance fees for leaving, ridiculous. So back the project. We know it's long term. It's not 2 years. It is going to be probably 5-6 years to see the whole thing and the whole plan in fruition. Is going to be that period. So I'm looking about 2.5 years. 2.5 years to 3 years to reaching the prime. Yeah? And to some fans, that's not good enough, because we want instant success. But there's no magical recipe for instant success. There is no guarantee we will get top 4, whoever the manager is. We know how hard it is, but we know also how far we've fallen. And from that 2006 all the way up to like now, we have fallen massively. When you look at the players that we had moving to that new stadium and the level of players. So there was a big pool of players, and we had a decent squad. Had that investment then, and I'm not talking let's chuck oil money at it like what happened with City and the blood money from Chelsea, and you suddenly look at, we got a small bit of investment. I'm talking 20-30 million for that guy Kroenke to back us. And you're thinking, it's laughable. Where we had the excuse of he didn't fully own the club, and it was like suddenly, well, hang on a minute, you've stopped a guy who wants to invest in the club to help us get to where we need to get to from coming on the board and giving him an opinion. Yeah, and eventually he sold and went off. And yeah, you're the majority holder, you're the majority stakeholder. You put the money in. You see this club go to where it should be. No, we let it carry on, and we carried on. We sold our players. We sold our players every year, and each time we had to then try and find another piece of the jigsaw. And it was like finding a jigsaw each year, and then come pre-season, we're like, I can't find this piece. And we're always trying to maybe plug the gap with someone that wasn't as good as what we've just kind of got rid of. We were trying to find a gem that was not there. And Wenger tried as far as he probably could, and it started becoming too much, because all what he was doing behind the scenes to then try and keep patching up and squads and getting squads in, it probably was too much. And yeah, I wish he had gone for himself earlier, because it would have saved him from that horrible feeling of being ousted out the way it was. But he took so much flack from Kroenke. Yeah, it should have been aimed at Kroenke. He took it, and Kroenke carried on free for another 10 years. Yeah, and you look at it, yeah, how far we fell, and we then wonder why we've fallen the way we are. Why aren't we challenging for the top four? Or how dare a fan say we're not good enough? We're not good enough to be in top four. Realistically, we've got to be top six. Oh, we finished 8th twice. Have to have a little bit of realism here. We know that we're in a state, and thankfully, after this last summer, we look like we've got and ticked off some real good parts of our squad. And we look at the youth and those investments that we've got in, and we've got a team for years. Yes, there's going to be more changes, but it isn't going to happen overnight. And again, this January window, we might get another player in or two, but we might not. But we then have to then address it back in the summer again and understand where we are. We know we're short on players, and certainly in midfield. What are our targets? And obviously they're working on it. But it isn't easy as that. So we've freed up numbers in our squad, and that's good. That's what we've needed to do. But now it's adding those players that are the upgrades. Yeah? So if we can get upgrades into those teams, so the players that are here, yeah? Don't care who they are, but they've got to show what they can do on the pitch. But let's get behind the players. They're here, but if we can get an upgrade, and we can look to get an upgrade, then they will come in. But it isn't going to happen overnight. And yeah, we've just got to be patient. We know there's going to be big changes, and I keep saying about in the summer, the striking areas are going to be massively changed come the summer. Yeah, Lacazette again. I look on Thursday whether or not he could warrant a new contract. But I'm looking, and I love him as well. I think he's a great player, and he's really good with the kids, and a good positive role model around them. But how much is that worth? What value do you put on that? Is it a 200 grand contract extension for another 2 or 3 years? I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. And this game on Thursday, and you're suddenly thinking, Lacazette, has he shown enough? Can he take us on further if we get rid of Aubameyang? Is he going to be that player that's going to help us achieve what we need to achieve and take the next step? And that game, I don't think so. He didn't do enough, and he had a couple of chances. Yeah, he had the free kick, but it was a great strike. But when those chances come to you, half chance or what, if the odds are stacked up, you still need to either get it on target or at least work the keeper. And it almost like he needs 4 or 5 chances a game to make one count. And that's the difference. Liverpool only had 3 shots on target all game, and they scored 2 goals. But you know, that's what it is. It's being clinical, and unfortunately, we haven't had a striker that is really, really clinical for a long, long time. I'm talking, it's going to be Thierry Henry. Yeah, even Giroud to a certain degree. Yeah, the one touch finishes, those little kind of like runs into the box and making something happen. That's what we're missing at the minute. Someone like a Giroud, and this Vlahovic seems a real good option, but you can understand we need to get it done, and it isn't going to be easy. And it will probably go on and on and on until right to the end of the month. You got the club wanting to sell. The player maybe suddenly wondering, all the agents saying to the player, you can have your pick on anyone, any team in the summer. And yeah, you look at it like that. As a player, you want to win, and you want to further your career. And if you've got the option of going to many big clubs around, you maybe not wanting to kind of just say, right, yeah, I'm just gonna go and do it, yeah. But there are players there that will suddenly say, oh God, Arsenal, no, I want to go, and that would be unbelievably pleasing. And you want those players to be in your club, but we have to realise not many players are like that. Yeah, it is a job. Yeah, they haven't all been Arsenal fans from birth or from early age. Yeah, and those players that grew up, say, watching Thierry Henry and your Bergkamp, stuff like that, they're few and far between now, and you're suddenly thinking those players that are growing up and they're younger now and they're coming up and they're suddenly coming and growing up and suddenly saying, I was watching these players, but not really watching Arsenal because they haven't really had the real players that we had back then. So that affinity with Arsenal comes through ex-players and what they've seen. So yeah, just a little summary of that really. I don't think that we've got too much to worry about. Yes, it looks a little bit bleak because one game is really good, then one game is a bit of a mess. But we know that because we're playing with a lot of youngsters, and they're not going to pull the same tune every game. There's going to be bumps and there's going to be thuds along the way, but have to believe in them, and we have to keep going. And we add players to that group, just like Liverpool now. You've got them playing on Thursday with two of their youngsters, and you know what I mean. Just get behind the lads, and once you start adding more and more experienced players, don't forget 2-3 years on top of these youngsters now. Imagine Smith Rowe, Saka, even Sambi in the middle. All that experience. And if we add good ingredients to those guys, they're going to be one hell of a group of players. Martinelli. Look at the beast that he could become. But we have to do things right and not panic. And panicking would be saying, ripping up a long-term blueprint. Yeah? What's the point of it? Yeah? Just like the Emery appointment. What was the point of giving Wenger 21 years to build a philosophy at the club, a way of playing, a style of playing? We become renowned for that style. What was the point of having 21 years to then suddenly go and get in Unai Emery, who is very pragmatic, totally different ethos, totally ripped up the blueprint? And you're suddenly thinking, why did we not find someone to continue that legacy? Why was there not a manager who has that philosophy similar to Wenger, but adding the ingredient that Wenger was missing? And that was his ability to coach without the football. All it was based on was with the football. Find that coach with the philosophy that would add a couple of extra ingredients to that way of playing football. The fast flowing, attractive football, but give them a clue about what they're doing without the football. That is the football brain, or that is the mentality and the understanding of those players. Yeah? We lose the ball. What do we do to get that ball back? Where do I go? Across the whole pitch. And that was lacking. And yeah, these guys are going to grow, and they're going to learn lots from playing together. And these guys have all got to stick together. And with reinforcements, they will do. But yeah, it was a big disappointment at Anfield as well, because yeah, going down for 70 odd minutes, 65 minutes, down to 10 men. It was really, really proud to have been there. But to bring it back to the Emirates and be very, very stale is more the word. I'd say it was more resigned in that second half. They were resigned to the fact that they were going to get maybe not a lot from the game, and yeah, there were the odd flurries of chances. We had no one really on the bench to really affect it. Yeah, we had Rob Holding or Tavares. Nketiah again. You chuck on another striker, you open yourself up even more. But yeah, if we're going to go out, we're going to go out. So you may as well just chuck it. But I thought, honestly, he was going to go and try and start the game like he did at Anfield, or ended up finishing at Anfield. Obviously, or with 11 men, obviously. So playing 3 at the back. But I don't think a lot's been spoken about Chambers. So Chambers wasn't there. And I was thinking that he was going to be the one that would play in the midfield and get involved. But he wasn't there. So I'm guessing he had a knock from last week and wasn't fit enough. I haven't seen any reports on him on that side. But it meant in come Thomas Partey on the bench. And yeah, could be any player, I suppose, in a way, in that you're eager to get back. You're called upon. We are under pressure. And he snaps in with one tackle, gets a yellow card, and then the second one was probably the worst one. I think the way he come in, and yeah, it was a bit late, but Liverpool also had it as well with a Konate, and he got booked just after half time, and the referee blew up and didn't give him another yellow card, which easily have done it. He could easily have evened it up, but yeah, not a lot on the bench. As I say, nothing to really change, but I would have liked to have seen us play with 3 at the back and then get some players in and around that middle and then use it as a potential counter-attack. Keep it tight. And yeah, we saw last week that even playing with 10 men, there would be chances where we could look to counter and go on and do it. And maybe I'd just say maybe that may have turned it in our favour a little bit, because we were a bit open and we ended up being very open, because when they scored that second goal, there was potential that we could have had a free kick before it broke down to then the ball coming over from Jota, but obviously there weren't enough in it because VAR didn't really get involved or look at it. But yeah, we were well beaten, and we know Liverpool are a step ahead of us. But yeah, fair play. Good luck in the final. That's it really. There's nothing else to it. If anyone said at the start of the season, would you want to win the Carabao Cup? Probably a large portion would probably say it's not really our priority. Obviously it's a cup. We're out of both cups now. Yeah, but we just have to lift our heads up now and pick it up. We've got the game tomorrow against Burnley, and that looks like it's going ahead. So that's good. A chance to get 3 points, and yeah, we have to move on. But yeah, more on that later on. But yeah, really disappointed at the Emirates. But as I say, it was a funny atmosphere. There was something in the air about all that day. Certainly for me, there were lots of things not quite right. But yeah, fans just need to calm down and just relax, because yeah, it's too easy to be the way we are, and we just need to just calm down a bit and evaluate what we're doing, because yeah, just need to relax and not fight with each other just because we lose or someone's got a different opinion to someone else. So yeah, that is the afterthought. I hope you have enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. It will be really helpful. And yeah, if you do enjoy it, just keep following, and I am posting more regularly now. So yeah, follow us on Twitter and on Facebook, and yeah, up the Arsenal, and we move on. But cheers, Gooners. See you later.